Okay guys, so I have a bit of a product review. It's another bit by Woodland Scenics, like the snow flock that I did before, and this is their Moldacine plaster. So it comes in a big old box. Let's just move my camera back a moment so you can actually see sort of a bit of scale and size there. So it's a big old set of sculpting plaster. Whoa. Put that back to where it should be. Knocking my tripod all over the place. So, this stuff, sculpting plaster. Shapes like clay, can be carved, fills gaps and holes, stained with liquid colours. Basically, it's plaster that I'm using to do a bit of sculpting for some bases. Again, bought specifically for the Nurgle project, because I wanted to base them a bit differently to everything else that I've done so far. It's all a bit of a learning curve, and I wanted them to be in a really rugged, muddy, horrible looking swampy base. So, taking a cue from TemplarsCrusade01, who has just started making some plaster bases for his Deathcore of Krieg army. Really, go check it out. And my speakers are going off, sorry about that. So yes, go check out Deathcore of Krieg on Templars Crusades, because that's where the idea and inspiration for this has come from. He's also, I think, looking into manufacturing some bases that might be appearing on his channel for sale in the near future. But what I have done is a couple of different sizes of base. Basically, just to get a couple of nice scenic bases made. So I've mixed the plaster up, got it all together, carved it in, and just splodged it onto several bases. I've left some pools in some of them so that I can fill them with water effects resin. So that's what they're looking like at the moment. And the plan is to do them a brown base, some dark green, horrible licheny like dry brushing over the top, a couple of tufts of grass, water effects for slimy, horrible looking pools of liquid, and a couple of bits and bobs from the Games Workshop basing kit in, just to throw them in. So a couple of things I've found, and it might be that I just haven't mixed it properly, to be completely honest, but most of the bases, once I had everything mixed and done, most of the bases came out something like this. Doesn't look too bad at first sight, but once everything had all dried on it, it all came apart. So I've had to go back across some of them and actually super glue the plaster back onto the base, which is a little bit retarded. And one thing about it that is the plaster itself is quite soft and a little bit flaky. So to get over that, what I've been doing is, after I've got everything glued and set back onto the bases, is I always keep knocking the camera. A little Tupperware tub that is full of a mix of water and PVA. And normally when I do my bases, glue the sand on with straight PVA, and then after everything's set on the PVA, I dip the base in this water PVA mix, just as like a sealing agent basically. So what I've been doing is the bases that have been finished and restuck, I have basically just dipped again in the water PVA mix, cleaned it off a little with some kitchen towel just to take the worst of it off, and just popped them on the side to dry. And the ones that have dried have come out pretty well so far. They're not crumbling apart, they're staying on the base, and they're going to look pretty nice under the Plague Marines, under the Terminators, under the Decimated Demon Engine and Dreadnoughts and other bits and bobs that will be appearing in the army over a while. So it's good stuff. Like I say, whether the base is coming crumbly, whether that's down to my mixing or not, I don't know, as the next time I use it and do a batch of bases, I'm going to mix some sand in with them, a bit of ballast, and I'm also going to mix some of, instead of just mixing with plain water, I'm going to mix some PVA in as well as another bonding agent, so hopefully the next lot I won't have to dip. Yes, I talk with my hands a lot, it's what I do. It comes from working with people. Thank you for watching, guys. So keep an eye on Templars Crusade, check him out for his bases on his Deathcore of Krieg, and just keep a general eye on him, because soon, hopefully, he will be in conjunction with Kev Case casting up some scenic bases which will be available for you. So thanks again guys, stay tuned, and I'll chat to you all later. Bye. Right guys, so base wise, I obviously showed you the other day the progress that I had with it all been sanded and sealed and plastered, and went on to paint them really. So the very, very basic bases are that. So pretty muddy, uneven ground, and I started by spraying, dropping everything, by spraying the whole base scorch brown, and then dry brushing bestial brown over the top, and then a little patchy dry brush across some parts of the bases with catachan green to look like moss and verdigris and just general greenery growing on things. So that's a normal base there for the normal troop-sized bits and bobs. Let's find a Terminator base. It's fairly nondescript. So again, same sort of thing. Scorch brown, bestial brown with some green patching, and I put some water effects on. Now for my water effects, because I've never ever done them before, I was recommended to get this 2-part solid water, so 2 parts resin to 1 part hardener, and it works pretty damn well. It takes about 24 hours to cure completely, so I did these last night and they've come out pretty well. I mixed in a bit of Thacker green and a bit of Devlin mud just to give them a bit of colour. Let's see if I can see it. You can't really see it in that one. Now it does say to use oil-based pigments to mix into them. The GW stuff isn't oil-based, so what has happened, which you might be able to see better on this base, is there's that little pool of colour at the bottom where it's settled through the mix as it's been hardening, with the clear layer over the top. Now that's happened completely by accident, I take no credit for it, but I'm really happy with that. It looks really quite dirty and horrible. So I've got quite a few bases with these pools on. I've mixed in some parts from the Warhammer basing kit, and I decided to put them as Ultramarines, or Smurfs as I'm fond of referring to them as. So some of them have got more chaotic head styles on, but still little touches of the water effects to make them look swampy. But where it really comes into its own, combined with things like the skulls on there, damp, but if you get a nice big horrible slimy puddle in the middle of a base, so Terminator, legs either side of that, probably striding forward with the auto cannon, that's going to look quite filthy and horrible. And I'll be putting the Games Workshop grass tufts on here, but I won't be putting the tufts on until there's actually a model on here, so I know where I can position the feet, and just so it just finishes everything off nicely. So quite a few bases have been done with the water effects resin in there. Just to give you an idea of some of those. The Terminator sized ones, done a couple up as well. And for when I get around to doing him, the Decimated Demon engine is going to go on here. So a nice little run across of the whole base there, so you can see where it's, again, the green has settled in that pool there, and it looks pretty filthy, slimy and horrible. The skulls just picked out, again looking pretty well worn and filthy. So I really like this base. This is one of my favourites. One here, a couple of little pools, and a blue helm on. This might be for a dreadnought, and or a demon prince would look quite nice on there. One of the demon princes of Nurgle, and just have this one for the dreadnought. I've got three big bases that I can play with for bigger things. Now the other thing that I've tried it on is the base I'm using for Typhus, Herald of Nurgle. So tried to bring it down over the skulls. Now this part here, what I tried to do was build a barrier around so I'd have a solid wall of the water coming to the edge of the base. It looked horrible, it really did. It didn't go too well, so I had to cut back into the resin, and it's given me this white-ish edge. It's at a place where it's not really going to be seen too much, but I'm very tempted just to put some sand over the top of that and just dam that up. But you can see the slime coming down over the skulls, a little bit over where he's going to be stood. But yeah, quite a sick and twisted looking base, so I really do quite like this one. Got very, very, very good for typhus. But that's what I've been doing basing wise, guys. So that's the first bits of them done. I suppose I better get some models painted for them now. Cheers for watching. Stay safe, have fun, and I'll find something fun to put up for you soon. Bye.